We are live, Coach Nation. Welcome back for another daily webinar this week, or this day. We are bringing on a couple of really smart dudes, and I use that word specifically because I think many of you know the dude, Mike Cuevas. Mike, welcome, and I'm going to have you introduce Lloyd, and we're going to get deep into YouTube ads for real estate.
Yes, sir. Thank you, Jeff. And what's up, Lab Coders? Thank you guys for having us today. We're going to talk about a topic that has been, I believe, is the blue ocean of real estate. I believe it's the next big thing. I think it's, I'm not thinking, I know. I'm that confident on it. But let's cover what we're going to talk about. Folks, what we're going to talk about is all YouTube ad type stuff. So let me break this down on how it's the flow we're going to go through. And we're going to take you through everything from start to finish. Now, first and foremost, what we see are two different opportunities in YouTube ads, but they are totally different. The types of videos and the type of strategy that you would use for either one of these would be different. So YouTube is an amazing branding strategy platform. I mean, it's you'll see why in a little bit, but you could also use it for lead generation. Just know that they're two totally different things. We're going to break down each for you guys. Ultimately, if you see that picture on the right, we are all experiencing this. The value on YouTube or any advertising platform is simply its targeting. The more targeted your message, the better results you have, regardless of what medium you're in. If that's direct mail, in this case, we're going to talk about YouTube and show you exactly how to target people, how to create the different types of videos and all of that. And then we're going to show you advanced type stuff, the ninja stuff, the funnel stuff. How do you sort of follow people around the internet? Lloyd here is going to break that down for you. So let me give you a little background on Lloyd. I know a lot of people in the group. I've been active in the group for a while, but if you guys don't know who I am, my name is Mike Cuevas, real estate marketing dude. We do a lot of content creation, video marketing. We like doing it without having to necessarily talk about real estate. We're all in personal branding. But about a couple months ago, I keep seeing this YouTube dude running around my office. And long story short, Lloyd Dodgen has just joined our team and is now running our digital side of our company. And Lloyd's expertise is really in YouTube ads. Specifically YouTube ads. So Lloyd, go ahead and give everyone a little bit of an intro to who you are, and let's get right into this because we have a lot of content to cover.
Yeah, just a fellow entrepreneur and a nerd when it comes to everything dealing with advertising. I've worked a lot in the real estate space as an advertiser on Facebook, and as of the beginning of the year, I started to notice a lot of things shifting for my clients and really just in the marketing itself. And I started thinking like there's got to be some other way out there. And one client had asked me to help them run some YouTube advertising for real estate listings that they were having. And one thing led to another, and this idea came into my head. I was like, this is where the change needs to be. This is where the market needs to evolve into. And I just started digging into it and really just growing my expertise to be able to serve you guys today.
Yep. And let's talk about the difference.
I was going to say, Mike, I think before we get started too, is for those of you who haven't even started on Facebook ads at this point in your career, it's a little diluted at this point, which is why we are trying to stay out ahead and move over to YouTube, which is where the most advanced people are. And that's why this is so important for you to pay attention today. So Mike, take it away.
Yeah, let's start off with the basics of the difference. Everyone's comparing the two. What's the difference between YouTube and Facebook? And ultimately it comes down to this. Facebook's a social media platform. YouTube's a search engine. So when people are on Facebook, they're not logging on to Facebook to go look for houses for sale. However, they see a man cave pop up or a really cool pool and they click on it and all of a sudden they turn into a lead for you. The opposite is true on YouTube. What happens on YouTube is YouTube's a search engine, and most people don't realize that. It's a search engine owned by Google, which is where like 95+% of search takes place. So what we're doing is that you're able to target intent-based search as opposed to looky-loos. So you're able to actually put your ads in front of people that have different levels of intent. Like when you go to YouTube or you're typing in how-to, you're specifically asking for a problem that you want solved. And to be able to pop up in front of put your message right in front of that ideal prospect is really powerful. And that's really what we're talking about today. The targeting is it's intent-based versus non-intent-based. That's the difference. Now, regardless of what type of marketing you guys are using, it's always the success of your campaigns always depends on the targeting. If you don't believe me, direct mail still works for rehabbers, and they target absentee owners, high equity properties that are sitting vacant because they're layering their targeting. They're able to get into their ideal prospect. This is no different. We're just doing it digitally with video and whatnot. And the context is really everything when you talk about this. We're talking about able to put our message in front of a consumer and sort of meet them on their journey and pop up right when they need you most. Okay. And you're able to do that because of how advanced the targeting is. So if you guys remember I don't know if you remember this back in the day. Remember when we were running CMA ads back in the day when Facebook ads first came out? You and Bernier was leading the charge in this stuff. How easy was it to generate leads at that time?
A lot easier then.
And then it became convoluted, or everyone's doing and diluted, and then it started dying. Well, we used to have better targeting back then too, like likely to move, people are buying or selling. Google has all the targeting. They know what people are searching for. So the targeting is just way off, or way better, I mean. Competition, ultimately what Jeff's saying is that we like going where nobody else has. Like went all in on video 3 years ago. Now I'm going all in on YouTube as everyone else is going all in on video. And we like to zig when someone else is zagging, and vice versa. It's a quote Warren Buffett once said. But YouTube right now, and I don't know if you guys agree with me on this or not, but when I saw the NBA Finals sponsor YouTube and take over, I knew that's where it's going. YouTube TV, I'm actually switching to right now. Mm-hmm. So really what we're talking about is a new media, much like what Jeff Fitzer's talking about on TikTok, but we're talking about it in YouTube right now. So that's sort of the paint the picture. Lloyd, go ahead and touch in any other advanced targeting stuff that you may want to, and please go ahead and touch up on how the difference in how you pay for YouTube versus Facebook.
Yeah, so actually on the next slide, Mike, we'll be able to really get into that because we're going to start talking about the different types of ads that exist. But yeah, Mike hit on a lot of amazing points that when you think about YouTube versus Facebook, Facebook is a social media platform. So therefore, when I'm going there, I'm looking to connect with individuals. But when I go to Google or YouTube, I'm looking to have my problem resolved. I'm looking to find an answer, or I'm looking to be entertained. So you can meet people along their customer journey instead of meeting them at the beginning and hope that you're going to be able to find out who they are. When you're advertising on Facebook, you're basically telling Facebook, hey, Facebook, there's a specific type of audience, men that are married between the age of 30 to 40 that, possibly like Zillow.com. Can you put my message in front of them? And you're hoping that the message and the audience match. Versus with YouTube or Google, what we're doing here is we're saying, hey, if someone's searching for San Diego real estate within 500,000 to 700,000 is searching for those specific parameters, when they go to YouTube, we can immediately present our video in front of them through a pre-roll ad, which we're going to talk about just on the next slide, and actually hijack that traffic and now answer those questions for them. Now be the solutions provider for them. Now be the reason that they're going to click through to whatever it is that you have to offer and listen to what you have to say.
Yep.
And Mike, if I can add too real quick, is and I never want to assume, I assume most people that are listening or watching probably fully understand YouTube, but I'm going to assume there might be a couple that don't. And so if you're not utilizing YouTube, the first thing you need to do when you get off this call is go start a YouTube channel and start using it as your library for your videos. Start putting content into YouTube.
So here's one thing, and Jeff makes a really good point there. If I'm posting anything on Facebook, I may have a couple of months in which someone's going to scroll down and stop paying attention. On Instagram, a couple of days worth of stuff. Instagram stories, 24 hours. But putting your content on YouTube, the reason it's so powerful is it's an evergreen sales machine. So everything you create is searchable content, and if it's searchable content, no matter what it is, it's going to be of value to someone wherever they are along the customer journey. 3 years, 10 years ago, those videos can still stay relevant depending on what it is that you're providing for them, what answers you're answering.
Yep, 100%. So a lot of differences between the two. Let's break down the different types of ads that exist in the YouTube space, because a lot of people are somewhat familiar when it comes to the ad space. A lot of people get what YouTube is. A lot of people don't get what YouTube ads is. So let's break down, Lloyd, the ads that we're talking about and actually get placed. And there's technically 3 different types of ads you can run. However, we advise on just this one. Let's start with skippable in-stream ads. And Lloyd, walk us through exactly what that is.
Yeah, we'll talk about 2 main types of ads. This is the one I highly recommend for anybody that's serious about running YouTube ads, and it's called skippable in-stream ads. And if you've ever gone to a YouTube video and you see an ad pop up right before your video is about to pop up and you see that skip button, that is a skippable in-stream ad. You get the very first 5 seconds to be able to skip that. The great thing about that is that when it comes to running an ad on Facebook, I'm always paying for impressions. If I do a video view, I'm paying for 2 seconds, of that to be able to, like, 2 pennies for 10 seconds. I'm paying for very, very small impressions just for scrolling past. But if I'm running an ad on YouTube, I only pay when the user either watches the whole video, actually physically clicks on my ad, or watches at least 30 seconds of my advertisement itself. Which that, if you're trying to present a brand, if you're trying to build awareness about what you're doing, those first 30 seconds of being able to have free advertising is amazing. So even if a person decides, you know what, this message isn't for me, you still were able to get inside their mind and get inside their, like, give them information, and you didn't pay for a single thing on that. And when you do pay, the cost is extraordinarily cheap for that view and for that capture.
Yeah, so I mean, the brand opportunity here, mixed in with the matter that there's really no competition in the real estate space right now, at least yet. Again, this is like the frontier. If you remember Facebook 4 years ago, guys. But if anyone who watches your video for 29 seconds or less, you don't get charged for that. That's free brand. That's extremely, extremely powerful. And again, notice on what we said at the beginning here, there's a lead gen and then there's a branding strategy. So we're going to be breaking these down for you. But yeah, I would agree, Lloyd. I think these are the ads that you shoot to run. But there's some other ads. Let's just touch on this really quick.
Yeah. So
talk about that.
You may have seen this. This is called a discovery ad, and what that is when you actually type in a search, right? You'll normally see your listing of videos that are always going to display based on that search. And just like you'll see on Google, you'll see the same thing on YouTube with a few videos on top that are ad focused, that are basically people saying that if anybody types in this search query, display my video ad in front of them. And what's great about these is that you actually don't pay until someone clicks on the actual link itself. And so what it requires is a very good thumbnail and a very good call to action, some sort of title that tells them this is the video I need to click on, just like anything else you would build on YouTube, but instead it would just be presented as an ad.
And the main reason why we're saying that these discovery ads in the right column, you pay for every click, whereas the previous ads over here, you get that free 29 seconds of brand. Is that correct, Lloyd? Just so everyone's on the same page?
Absolutely. And we also don't want to have someone take unnecessary steps. So if they go to a video and we pop up before, the only action they had to take was actually watching that video versus considering whether they're going to click on that ad and then click through on your ad when the ad actually pops up.
Yep.
You know, one thing to point out too, Mike, is that YouTube actually, like most social media platforms, you want short videos, like 30 seconds, 60 seconds. YouTube actually favors like 5 to 10 minute
Correct.
video.
Yeah, the stats are actually flipped. So like stats show like Facebook, Instagram, like 80% of it has no sound. Well, on YouTube, 80% of it has sound, 20% of it doesn't. So they actually flip them on the end. But all these little things are extremely important to know because the types of videos that you create all have everything to do with what your objective is. So let's break these down. Like, let's go through the branding aspect of it. And this is honestly the way that I look at this stuff, you guys, is that you're only paying for views after 30 seconds. So I'm looking at free brand. As you know, 80% of business comes from people we already know, like, and trust. People don't hire strangers, very rarely. That tends to happen in areas where they're not referred to anyone. But you can't connect better than with video. I'm going to tell you why in a sec. Look at YouTube as like a modern television day ad. And really what it is the way I look at it from a brand perspective is no differently than how we would traditionally look at billboards or bus stops or anything of that nature. And the reasoning why would we want to go ahead and put a billboard out is because, well, I want brand. I need to build brand awareness. People need to know who we are. We need to build authority, legitimacy, and all these other things. YouTube is just a billboard in the form of video popping up on all your kids' channels right now. Literally, look at it that simplified from a branding perspective. Now, the difference, though, is this: video versus imagery and impact. And this is the key to understanding video overall, is that a billboard doesn't have any emotional message to it. So when we break down why YouTube is so effective, this is why. And it's just because people interpret video communication a lot more than they interpret text or image-based communication. 90% of the language is on our tonality or our body language. right? People only retain 10% of what we actually say. And think about that. If people don't really remember what the hell we say, they remember how we say it. Now, in no other channel or no other medium is that possible, because if you're going to be on a billboard, you can't really express body language on a billboard or tonality on a billboard. You can't do it on text. You could do a little bit with emojis. You certainly can't do it on email. So when you look at video, because it's belly to belly, the same way that you guys are seeing us on this video here, I'm moving my arms out. It's more impactful, in other words. If we all got up here like this and we all sat here like this and talked in a monotone voice and sat here, I guarantee you all of you guys are turning this thing off, because we would be boring. You're perceiving the communication by what we're doing, what we're saying, and the energy we're bringing to it. And it's no differently than with your own brand. You can't do any of that stuff with a billboard, and that's the way you want to look at it. Let's get into the targeting, and let's show you guys the capabilities behind here, because what happens is that, I said it earlier, is that any form of advertising has to be put in front of the right audience first. And I think that's the unfair advantage that YouTube really has for its users. So let's get into breaking down the targeting that exists here that does not exist in Facebook. There's 3 different ways to target. Lloyd, go ahead and walk us through this.
Yeah, so there are 3 different types of targeting that we can be able to really nail down with a person. And the first is the search. So we can actually get down and actually focus on the keyword searches that our actual audience is putting into Google and putting into YouTube. And so if we can put ourselves into the mind and the place of where our customer is along their journey, if they're looking to relocate from Wisconsin to San Diego, or they're a military family that is finally looking to make the move because they're they're being shipped to another state or another country, we can actually take those keywords and be able to intercede with videos in front of those people. We can actually even target the specific videos that people are going to. So if we know individuals are watching things on HDTV, if we know they're watching specific channels that they really care about that are related to our audience, then we can actually go and place the non-skippable in-stream ads in front of those individuals before they ever even get a chance to watch the first video. So being able to target someone on search is so much more, it's so much, the intention is so much higher versus hoping that the audience that you're about to hit you may be getting into that right spectrum, but finding
let me put this in English so everyone gets it. So a keyword-based search is moving to San Diego. I'm sorry, I want to go ahead and put my message in front of someone that types that into YouTube.
Yeah.
When you're targeting specific videos, would be sort of like how to sell your house without a realtor. Let's say that video is getting 15,000 views a day. Great, I want to pop up on that freaking thing. And then when you're targeting YouTube channels, would be like, okay, let's go target Home Depot's or DIY channel of someone who's looking to do a home improvement. You could pop your ads up on that, and that's what's called like placements. So let's break these down. Let's get even further into it. That's just the general.
Hey, and if you guys didn't mention it already, I'm going to mention it again. Guess who owns YouTube?
Google.
That's right.
Yep.
That's right.
Yeah, in fact, YouTube is the second largest search engine in the world. So it's Google and then YouTube, which we'll get into in a second when it comes to the behaviors. You're going to be amazed as to what is capable. So next is about targeting the person. So with Facebook, we know we can target demographics, at least we could to some degree. We can actually go and target people with their age. We can target their income percentage. We can target whether they're married or whatnot. But we can actually go a little bit deeper. Can you go back to that other slide, Mike?
Yep.
Yeah. So we can actually target things that they're interested in, that the topics that they're looking up, the affinities that they have. So it's not just about a person who types in soccer, but it's about the websites they go to, the places that they're visiting, and Google putting together this amalgamation of information, realizing that, oh, they're about to move soon based on the search history and the websites that they're going to. Oh, they're actually looking at loans, so they must be purchasing a home soon. So you can actually start targeting the exact person and the exact place that you're looking for, not just the keywords they're looking for, but with the demographics and the aspects of where they are in their life.
It's all their intent.
It's all their intent.
I think that one of the major, and I don't know if you guys would agree with this or not, but I'll throw it out there. One of the major differences, I think, is that when people are on Facebook, the reason why a lot of these quote unquote leads are 6 to 9 months out in advance is because their intent's not there. But when they're on YouTube searching like how-tos or more specific in information, that time frame, you know, is a lot shorter. Typically closer, because you're way closer in their journey. So you're finding more ready, willing, and able type buyers. One other thing I want to mention about demographics is this is so important. And Log, I'd like to get your opinion on this too, and Jeff. But like when I was still in practice, I knew what my demographics were for the Dude brand. And they ranged anywhere from 28 to 42 years of age, people with young kids. And regardless of what ad I ran as an agent or now as a marketing company, that's still who clicks on my stuff. So if you guys really look, I believe that we all track like people. And you don't want to just target just intent, but I personally like targeting intent plus demographics. And the reason why the last 10 of your clients that you guys have closed or helped buy or sell a house, the reason why you guys became beer drinking buddies, it wasn't on accident. It's because we all track like people. So, you know, think about that. What is that you message? Like, I have nothing in common with anyone over the age of 65. I'm not going to lie. What the hell am I going to talk to them about? So why the hell am I going to try to reach them? This is not so much about, not only can you target their intent, but you can target people who are just like you in age, in money they make. Like, if you look at the household income, all the luxury people, someone asked me on the webinar yesterday, hey, can you target commercial, like principals? I'm like, yeah, I'm targeting the top 10% right off the bat of income. So a lot of this stuff is so important. So very, very, very important to know. To really do it right, I believe you have to match it up to target yourself based upon and intent. That's what I'd like to say. If that makes sense. So this
is kind of like micro targeting versus macro targeting. And I think that's the mistake a lot of agents make is they try to go too broad, and you shouldn't, because you're not going to have those same results.
I mean, any marketer worth their salt knows that the riches is in the niches.
Well, I mean, you guys think about it, right? We talk about just like fishing upstream, talk about going upstream like on marketing. Well, this one is pretty much fishing in a stocked pond.
Yes.
I mean, you literally won't find out where to fish. You actually go to where all the fishes are. Just throw dang line down.
So, but Long, it even gets it gets even a little bit more interesting than that, because personally, I like the life events. Like someone, again, these like some questions we had yesterday. Someone's like, hey, can you search probate? Can you search people that are dying? No, I don't. You know, guess what? Yes. And people who are getting married, they're looking for wedding planners right now. We know a certain percentage of those people move. So it's targeting life events around what triggers the moves as well. So because all of that information is there, it really makes it easy to pop up in front of that ideal audience. And I agree with you, Long. It's macro. I hate macro. I love micro. I don't like throwing a bunch of stuff at the wall and seeing what sticks. I like nailing 100 people, 200 people, 3,000 people, but very, very, very targeted. Yeah, that's a very, very good point. Lloyd, why don't you go ahead and walk us through the keywords, because on my ads, these have been the best results. So go ahead, and I don't know if that's just for me, or walk us through it.
Yeah, so I mean, like I said, with keywords, the sky is really, you know, the limit. If you have tools like Google Keyword Planners, keyword tools everywhere, different tools that you can have to be able to scope out how much actual volume is happening, like how much competition is happening, and you can go and back and see what's going on even with YouTube, and see how many people are actually posting up videos on these specific keywords. Do I have a chance to compete, or do I have a chance to actually do a better job and get my videos on top of theirs through keywords? So you can really get down into the nitty gritty of what people are looking to, like want to buy my dream house, like looking to move to La Jolla, you know, Boulevard or La Jolla Shores or wherever it might be that they're looking to move to. We can get into those real deep details about a person.
Yep.
It almost becomes like you're reading their mind.
Placement targeting. We talked about this. Yeah, go ahead, Lloyd.
Yeah, placement targeting is amazing. So like I've said before, we can target people who have their keywords and say like, hey, present any videos that we have in front of people that are searching for those things that fit this demographic. Or we can go and say, hey, if someone's going to go watch this video, and if that video has an the ability for an ad placement on it, if their video is monetized through YouTube, which means when you click on that video, does an ad pop up? If it does, it's completely up for grabs. So we can actually place our video in front of that message. So if, you know, hypothetically speaking, we're in real estate coaching and we want to place our video in front of like a Mike Ferry or a Tom Ferry or anybody related to that, we can go put our video in front of that and actually compete before anybody sees their message.
So let's put this into context. Jeff, for you, you're a mortgage broker. You target realtors, I imagine, a lot. You could pop up on the channels realtors watch. Long, same thing for you. You're a broker owner, you recruit agents. So you're popping up on channels that the agents are watching. And if you really think about it, it's like, why the hell are they watching those channels? It's because they're looking for help. So when you slide in like that white knight, knight in shining arbor, because it's intent-based, that's the unfair advantage.
Here's how it becomes even more unfair, Mike, is that anybody who's targeted with Facebook, if you have done that, you might have heard what's called a Facebook pixel. And that Facebook pixel goes on your website and basically tracks any data that happens there. However, with Google, because they have what's called Google Analytics, Google Analytics is on literally almost every page in existence. So if we just go back one more slide, we can actually, if you see where it says websites right there, we can actually tell YouTube to say, hey, anybody who's actually visited Zillow.com, can you go place an ad? Can you go show them a video when they come onto YouTube? Any type of real estate website that you know your audience is actually looking for because they're in the process of starting to look for that home, and we can actually get in front of them based on the websites that they're going to. So it's like we're hijacking traffic of our competitors and all this other information that we did not have with Facebook at all.
Yep.
We were targeting people who liked other pages, but going to another site, that's one level deeper of intent.
Yep. The reason why we create content is to create retargeting audiences, period. The only thing that builds your brand is to consistent communication to the same audience over time. But like in my world, like if I stop my podcast, I stop leads coming in. If I stop creating content, I stop leads coming in. It's no differently in a lender or a real estate agent's world either, because it is such a busy world out there. So one of the things that we strongly advise doing is you hear this concept of like, how do you follow around people all over the internet? And again, we're going to show you the funnel in a second, but how do you follow people all around the internet? Well, you retarget them. And there's a difference between Facebook retargeting and YouTube retargeting. I want to make some really important distinctions, but what you can retarget on YouTube is people who viewed your ads, people who have viewed videos on your channel, people who have visited your website, or people who have subscribed to your channel. You cannot upload a list of your database and then target them until you have spent $50,000 and you have 3 months in good standing. That is the only difference. And that's the one thing I wish that we could do, because I'm huge on SOI. I love uploading the list and targeting and just popping up everywhere all the time. So what does that mean? The reason why I'm showing you that, it shows you the structure of your videos, which is to sell consumption and website clicks. You sell the click on your videos. We're going to show you the styles of videos after we get through the section here, but it's extremely important to notice that. Lloyd, do you want to add anything on these retargeting audiences?
Yeah, so the great thing though with retargeting is that yes, you may not be able to initially upload an email list, but based on all these actions anybody has ever taken, whether it's watching an ad, watching a video on your channel, going to your website, whatever website it might be, subscribing to your channel, whatever action is going there, we can actually put those people into list and still be able to create similar audiences to retarget a broader group of people who might take the same action as those individuals already have. So we still have a lot of powerful retargeting capabilities within YouTube. And I mean, if anybody's in psychology has ever heard of a thing called the Bader-Meinhof phenomenon, have you ever driven down the street, saw a car for the very first time, and you're like, never seen that car before, and then out of nowhere, you start seeing that car everywhere? It's the same thing that happens with your ads. The reason we present in front of YouTube with video is so that we create that awareness in the mind, and anywhere else we pop up on Facebook, Instagram, or whatnot, now it's less cold. They remember our face, they remember our message, they remember who we are.
Let's talk about the costs. How much it costs to get a view?
The costs are extremely cheap. I mean, you can get as cheap as a penny a view. And remember what we talked about, a penny for a view is 30 seconds of viewing that actual ad. And that person who is watching that is higher intent. When you think about the average attention span of being 5 or 6 seconds, you're getting 5 times, you know, the value of someone who's actually deciding to give you their attention for whatever message that you're having to provide. This is actually a client that we had run some ads for, and this was a 30-day span of just running about a couple of $1,000s worth of ads. When we sent 2 cents per view, we created another 100,000 views of people watching their ad, and it was 194,000 impressions, which means 194,000 people had seen the ad but did not pay for that full view.
Only 99,000 paid.
Yeah, and I wish I'd put up the statistics on some of the videos we were running, but we had people that were watching 5-6 minute videos all the way through. We had like at least 30 to 40% of that audience paying attention to the entire message before they click through.
Yep.
And we
So,
only paid pennies.
one thing I want to, so like what we're, well, I'll wait till we get to the funnel part about that. Let me go through the different styles of videos first, because there is different strategies, and sort of loop this back.
Hey, Mike, before you do that, there's a question. There's a kind of a general question about how do you make videos and what do you use to edit them? And I don't know if you want to get too deep into that, because that's another topic for another day. But
we could do a whole webinar on that. It's what our company does, but why don't we cover that at the end? Because yeah, you have to do YouTube, you have to know how to create video content, and it most likely is not going to be in front of a whiteboard giving a market report. It's got to be something a little bit more engaging.
Agreed. Although the answer to the question is, and Mike, you know some people as well as I do that are executing YouTube at a high level and just using their iPhone.
Yeah. Oh, iPhone all day. Totally. iPhone all day. You don't need a production studio. However, you do need, depending on what you want to do, the better the production, the better the result. And it's just like, you know, if you have crap videos, you probably get crap results. You have good videos, you get more attention.
Yep.
Jeff does a lot of fun videos. He gets more attention. But if all Jeff's videos were boring, he wouldn't get as much attention. I think I just saw one of you in an elf suit. Is that right?
That's correct. That's correct.
All right, so let's go through the different types of videos for branding, okay? So if I'm you guys and I'm going to play the YouTube game, I'm deciding which is my strategy, okay? Are you a lead generator? Are you more of a salesperson? Or are you more of an SOI person? Are you more of a referral person? I see 2 different types of agents. Very rarely are they both. If they are, they're in the form of a team. But the types of videos that I would create for branding are going to be as follows: business owner interviews, neighborhood tours, local points of interest, case studies, your listing videos, and definitely the most important video you could ever have is your about video. So let me just walk you through these really briefly. Business owner interviews have a strategy to them. The strategy is to build a relationship with a referral source. And the way that you optimize and rank this video, and the reason why it's such a good brand play, is think about if you were just hitting a zip, or say you're farming and you keep popping up as the digital mayor. This is what Tom Ferry, Gary Vee, and everybody's talking about. Because regardless of which one of these videos that you create, they all remind people you're in real estate. And building a brand is about reminding people, not selling your shit. We don't need to sell stuff. It's insinuated. The truth is that you wouldn't be doing this content or creating this content unless you weren't in real estate, or if you weren't in real estate, or unless you had nothing better to do with your life. Every single one of these videos positions an agent as a local expert, which is what people want to see, which is what people want to hire. When we look at the lead generation side of things, and if my goal is lead gen, my strategy is totally different. I'm creating how-to videos. I'm talking specifically on real estate content. For example, closing costs. My videos are very much call to action. I have retargeting videos following people around, and one of those may be an about video. So let me tie this together. If you don't know what your intent is at the beginning of your ad, you're already shooting your campaign in the foot. So most realtors tend to run more of the branding style because they're referral dominated. And if they're referral dominated, it's all about the audience we're putting the videos in front of. You want to build a brand, and you want to do it consistently over time. So it's okay to create community content. But community content isn't going to necessarily generate a call to action, is it? Like, people aren't going to call you because you just got the new brewery and be like, bro, you got that brewery? Oh, because you got that brewery, I want to just sell my house. People are going to ask you to sell their house when you show them how to sell their house better, specifically. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes.
So with lead gen videos, let me give you an example. There's no such thing as generalist type videos in YouTube, okay? And I'm a buyer agent. I could serve the entire state of Minneapolis or Minnesota. That does not how you do it. It's got to be very specific. So let's just take one for a wedding. If I want to target people who are just getting married, I'm going to pop up right on their channel like this, because you got to remember where the ad is. The ad, it's going to ask them to skip it in 5 seconds. Hey, congratulations, you just got married. You might be wondering how I know that, but I'm targeting you on YouTube, and it just told me that. But because you're getting married, I thought you may want to see this because the last person who got married, blah, 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 blah. I just captured their attention by meeting them in the minds of where they're at. That's what Lloyd means by that. If I'm a real estate broker, hey, I understand you're super pissed off at your broker right now, but don't worry, I might have an option for you. You have to address the problem in the first 5 to 10 seconds, which is not the case on a branding video. Does that make sense, guys?
Absolutely.
So the type of content you create for different purposes has everything to do with the success or failure of your campaign. If I'm running a lead gen campaign, a business owner interview is not a good video to put up, I don't think. I need a lead gen campaign that follows them around the internet and ask them why they didn't give me their information yet. Okay? So when we say retargeting videos, those videos are more like, hey, what's up? You just clicked on my landing page, but you forgot to download the free relocation guide that I just put up. So I wanted to make sure you saw it. I need to follow around with that message until they opt in. Period. That's it. And the people who is seen the most gives in the most, or people give in to the one that is seen the most. There's a famous term in marketing advertising that says the company that could spend the most money to acquire the customer is the one who always wins. And that is 100% true. Lloyd, you want to add anything on the styles of videos right here?
No, I think you really hit it on the nail. And yeah, like you really, like when you're thinking about branding versus lead gen, branding, you're trying to create that content awareness. You're trying to make sure that people know who you are. And you can get down into the nitty gritty of what you're doing lead gen, and where you're explaining questions to them, showing them details about things that they may have not known about, assuring them that if they decide to make a phone call to you, that you're going to be the person to communicate with. And every video always has some form of call to action. It could be a soft call to action, like a phone call, or it could be a hard call to action, like to go to my website, opt in for whatever it is that I'm offering them, and then continue to be able to follow up with them through email.
Yep. And let me give you just one thing just to touch up on some. If you are going to create a community video, you have to put it in context for lead gen. So if I was going to do that, I might say, hey, I'm at a moving company today because I know you're moving into San Diego, and you probably need someone to move your stuff all across the country. Because if you're anything like my move to San Diego, it was horrible. My shit didn't show up for 3 months. Like, I'm meeting them right at the mine. That's a true story. But if that's how powerful a lot of this stuff becomes, guys. Let me give you an example, because I know people are going to ask this, like, what are the best campaigns to run? In my opinion, and Long would be a great person to ask this too, in my opinion, I would target and start off with relocation all freaking day. And the reason for that is because if you really look at the source of business, that how people pick their realtors, 80% of closed transactions comes from people you personally met, used in the past, or you referred to. Relocations don't usually have any of that 80% there because they don't know anyone. So therefore, that's why I would target relocations all day long, because they're always very active, as a very high intent there. So you would need a relocation campaign. Now, we have some other people that are investors that are doing, like, I have a short sale course I'm building out for a guy right now, and it's a 6-step educational series walking them through the short sale process, right? But it's very, very specific. There's not a one video size fits all, is my point. You're going to have to create different videos for different results, and you could create different campaigns and scale into them. But the one I would start with, guys, is going to be a relocation for that reason. Long, what's your take on it all? Because Long does a ton of lead gen. How much of the leads that convert are reloads into the area, they don't know anyone, versus not?
Yeah, 1,000% agree. I mean, that I would definitely do that. An investor, one thing I'd probably even throw in is luxury, right? We're in a people business, so visibility is credibility. Most of the luxury agents got the market locked in because they've been around for a while. People know them. But with YouTube and video like this, we can definitely catch up really fast and replace them. Yep.
It's all brand, dude. Let's go into the advanced stuff. Let me show you guys an example of a YouTube funnel, then we'll open it up for questions and get this wrapped up. This is what a funnel would look like, more or less. And Lloyd, I want you to go ahead and I'll have my mouse here. I want you to walk us through it.
Yeah, so something like video one would be maybe answering a question or maybe presenting your brand. If anybody watches video one, the cool thing is that you're going to ask him to go to your landing page. You're going to ask him to be able to connect with you in some way. However, if they don't, that's okay, because if they watch video one, we're going to tell YouTube to say, hey, anybody who's watched video one for a certain amount of time, show them video two, because they've obviously shown me some interest. And the same thing goes with video 2 into video 3. We still ask them to go to a landing page, and if they don't go to the landing page, then we just have them go to video 3. Video 3, though, if they've engaged with our content long enough, we're going to go a lot harder. We're going to skip past the fluff, and we're going to go straight to the capture. We want them just to give us the information so that we can make the communication. The cool thing is that what we see here with Facebook and Instagram ads, the reason we're doing it this way is we're flipping the script on all of this. Instead of starting with Facebook as your cold targeting and hoping to warm up an audience and figure out the right messaging and figure out all those little pieces, we're going to be able to do that through YouTube video. And anybody who goes and clicks and lands on our page, we understand that they're going to have higher intent. We understand that they're going to be fitting a more targeted market. And because we have a landing page, we're going to have a Facebook pixel on it. So the great thing is that we can actually do a retargeting ad. So instead of leveraging Facebook for your original ads, we're leveraging Facebook and Instagram for simply retargeting.
That's it.
Creating that omnipresence to show them we're still here, we would still like to talk to you and follow up on this thing that you went to.
Let me say that one more time in one more way.
Yeah.
Traditionally, we would use Facebook as a way to send traffic to a cold audience, people we haven't met before, because the targeting was so great. With Facebook's recent ad changes and all the limitations on what you can or can't do, we are no longer using Facebook to drive traffic. We're using YouTube to drive traffic. We're only using Facebook to retarget the traffic that landed on our page. Mm-hmm. So we're finding a higher intent lead on YouTube and then using Facebook to follow them around in Instagram, as opposed to using Facebook to start the dating relationship out. I am picking them up on YouTube. I'm dating them on Facebook. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
And I'm dating them on YouTube too, because they're following the same funnel. This whole thing is duplicated amongst YouTube, Facebook, Instagram. That's how you become everywhere all the time, because that's where the power is at. And the retargeting funnel, it's just you turn it on, you turn it off whenever you want.
Yeah. So one thing that if anybody has run ads recently, we've all run into special ads category. If we're doing anything in housing, we immediately have to restrict our ad. And what that does is it ends up saying to Facebook, you can only use interest-based targeting, because they're trying to avoid discriminatory acts. So they don't want you to create lookalike audiences anymore, or very specific audiences to be able to target your real estate, because they want to make sure that everybody gets a chance to see it. And we all know that when we try to target to a very broad audience, we're not going to hit anybody. So by doing video, we are able to get really, really deep into the mind of our prospect. And when they go to the landing page, we're able to retarget them on Facebook through that pixel, which means that we don't have to worry about creating a new branch of demographics we're going to hit. All we're doing is website traffic.
You don't need to worry about Facebook's limitations on who you can retarget on a retargeting audience. When you have a retargeting audience you create, you don't have to follow their ad restrictions. It's only on the initial audience.
Yeah, we limit to our ability. So one problem that happens is that we get our ads restricted if we don't follow compliance, and then we can get our ad account banned. But if we're simply targeting people based on website visits, the likelihood of getting those ads restricted or our accounts banned becomes almost none. And so we actually safeguard our Facebook ad account by starting with YouTube and just retargeting on Facebook.
Yep.
And like I said, so everything leads down. We go from the capture page, we give them a thank you, which is probably some sort of quick call, give me a phone call, which leads into either an email follow-up, a phone call follow-up, or a text follow-up from you.
Yep. All right, folks, let's take some questions. We do have to answer your questions. So the way our company works is we create your video content, we script, edit, and distribute. And if you need us to run your ads too, we do. So it's pretty simple. If you're interested in that, you could visit us at talkwithadude.com. Anyone in lab coats gets a free video for anyone that came on board with us. But I don't want to make this all about us, guys. I want to get here and answer your questions. If you guys want to speak with us further, this is how it is. This is our website. You can meet us at and ask us any questions you like. Jeff, what do we got lined up?
Go ahead, Long.
Yep, I have some. I've been writing down, and as you guys do this presentation, most of them are checked off. So first of all, when Jeff and I heard that we're going to be hosting this, and it was with you, Mike, and Lloyd, we were saying that, man, we get to host a host. So we won't have to do much work at all. So you pretty much host the show for us. So thanks a lot, man. The other thing that I want to say is that it's pretty mind-blowing. I took a lot of pictures of the screen. So I know, me personally, I'm going to take this recording and share back with my 460 agents in my company, because I don't care if you're a broker owner, a team leader, or a solo agent. We're in the people business. And as CEOs of our own company, there's only 3 areas we need to focusing on, right? Innovation, quantification, and orchestration. So innovation, freaking use this YouTube marketing, tracking, quantification, that Google Analytics that has already built behind this, and orchestration, doing a YouTube TV channel, or as one of my questions you just answered right here in the last page is, there's the people who do it for yourself, and there's people who do it for me. So, you know me, man, I'm going to do it for me. So I want to call you guys and get your help with this. So you answered 12 of my questions. The last one I have that I wrote down throughout this presentation is touch on how 5G is really going to affect when that comes out, how this all thing's going to change.
The 5G, I don't know if it's going to be 100 times faster. I'm excited for it because it's going to help our clients upload time when they upload their videos to us. So that's, I don't know, Lloyd, you might be able to, how does it affect on YouTube? That would be a Lloyd question.
Yeah, so I'm not sure of exactly how it affects YouTube, but I can say, for one thing, people are not going to have to worry about buffering anymore. And two, when they do go to your landing pages, the opportunity for it to be slow and loading is going to be significantly less. So one thing that happens with landing pages is most people will walk away from a landing page if it takes a couple of seconds to load. So 5G is really going to up the value and the conversion rates of anybody actually running ads.
Because when we went from 3G to 4G, that's the explosion of video we had. So it just shows how 5G is really going to take this to the new frontier, Yeah.
I mean, virtually everything you could do on your cell phone. Jeff, you had a question earlier. The equipment we use, you guys, like you could use fancy equipment, but honestly, we use $80 worth of equipment. This is our cell phone, and we use a mic, and we use a cheap tripod. What makes your videos good isn't the equipment you use. It's the right story, or it's the right script with the right message. And honestly, remember that slide I showed you guys, 90% of what comes out of your mouth on video is going to be through your tonality and your body language. So I honestly, like when I'm directing someone, I don't even care what they say anymore. I care how they say it. I see the message to get across, right? Which does 9 times out of 10, but how you're saying it is so much more effective. And you could see that, like there's not been a viral video of anything that, have you seen any video get any kind of engagement? Well, just do a market report. Market reports, did they get any engagement?
Never.
No, because it's boring. So like Billie Jean says all the time, boring will put you out of business. You have to bring in entertainment, call to actions, and mix it all in. And you have to just do it a little differently. It's really not that hard right now. Just don't do it.
I think Billie Jean says it has to be more engaging than butt cheeks.
Yeah.
It's exactly what he says. That's right.
Hey, but still though, on that point though, equipment-wise, what's an app? What's a good phone app that people should check into? Because, I think that's the basic question.
So it depends on which route you like to do. I like green screen still for call to action and content videos because you're allowed, they're easy to shoot and it's easy to really tell a story being animated with it and it'll stick out. That's my only goal with videos is to stick out. The community videos, your cell phone. I mean, that's it. I don't use any apps, like no BS. I don't use any apps. I do nothing ninja. I am the most technological, illiterate, probably person out there. And I just keep things really, really simple. Some people want to go out and get gimbals and all this stuff. That just confuses the process. Ultimately, it's the right script and the right story matched with the right message. That's the key to all of this. Some of the most viral videos are not professionally shot. Right. Look at, I'm doing a Boats and Hose video remake, but it's going to be called We Sell Homes. And that is going to not look professionally shot at all. In the movie, it wasn't even professionally shot. So, that's the point. It's got to be real. got to be authentic.
I mean, if they're talking about an app, I mean, something as simple as Movie Maker on their computer or iMovie, it doesn't need to be complicated software to do any editing. And for the most part too, like on YouTube itself, like you can also do some minor tweak and what's called jump cuts and be able to actually cut out pieces where you're, stumbling through your words.
There was a jump cup. Actually, there's a jump cup app I bought for $50, and I forgot the name of it because I lost my phone and I no longer have it. God, it was cool. There's actually a jump. I'll try to put it in the notes. It's a really cool app that actually cuts all the dead space in between your videos automatically.
If you're seriously still thinking about what equipment you need, Mike said it best. It is just an iPhone, but having some basic editing skills through an app like iMovie is critical. Like that's something everybody should be learning how to do because it will make a difference in your videos. And then obviously having something like a basic tripod, just so you can be more stabilized. You don't need a stabilizer like Mike said, but having a tripod so when you're holding your phone, you're not shaking. Those are like basic things. Would you watch a video if you got sick when you were watching it? The answer is no. So figure out how to create video, just a little bit better. It doesn't have to be professionally done.
I mean, if you're trying to create better video, make sure that the light is facing your face. Make sure that you're actually investing in something that has a better sound quality. You can always test out your phone, but there are little lapels that you can buy on Amazon, mics that you can have to actually plug into your phone. I know Mike even offers equipment as well, right?
Yeah, we buy people equipment, we script, edit, and distribute your videos for you. So we handle all of it, but worst case, just do something. Yeah. If it's not with us, I don't care. Just get out there. You start somewhere.
YouTube to be able to learn anything that you're missing.
Yeah, good. I think that's how we all learned.
Hey, I got a question for you guys. It's somewhat relevant and not, because we're talking about Facebook and we're talking about YouTube, and you see agents who will take, for lack of a better term, I call them lazy, and they go and post. They want to post their video one place, and they go post it to YouTube, and then they share it back to Facebook. Tell them why they should or should not be doing that.
All right. So, there's a conspiracy theory out there that if the word YouTube is mentioned on Facebook, your engagement goes down. And I think it's true because I did this webinar yesterday. I only had 100 views, but we had 40 questions inside of the webinar. And so one is that Jeff's right. Don't create videos to die in a newsfeed. That you're missing the point. You want to squeeze as much juice out of every single one of them, and uploading and optimizing to YouTube is just one of those things. Mm-hmm. But also don't be lazy, because you should also organically be uploading your videos to each of your social media platforms. That's Instagram, LinkedIn, Facebook, and Facebook Business. And when you do that, you get more reach typically for that versus sharing from a page to a page. So it literally takes another 10 minutes. And when you're in content creation, it's not about pressing the button or checking the box. It's about making an impact and generating attention. So the extra 10 seconds that you spend, or 10 minutes you spend on it, is well worth it. It's the number one thing I see, Jeff. It's a good point. Don't be lazy. Like, you're creating, if you're going to spend the time, energy, and money to create content, multi-purpose it in every way possible, because Lloyd said it earlier, your videos will live forever and you can use them forever.
And you know what, Lloyd, you said that videos on Facebook have about a 2-month shelf life. I'd say about a 2-day shelf life nowadays.
Yeah. I'm just talking about your posts that you have within your page and anything. Like, you're right. And it's definitely a lot less now. But the shelf life of it is dying. I mean, but if you have answers that you're solving, your shelf life increases dramatically. You have to remember one thing too, is that context is everything. And by context, I mean, it's the platform in which you're presenting. So if I'm on Facebook, I'm on a social platform. Therefore, I'm going to be sociable with my content. If I'm on YouTube, I'm trying to educate people. And so therefore, I'm going to be figuring out how to communicate a need that they have and give them a result and then get them to the next step. So you've just got to remember where you are and who you're communicating with and what mindset they're in, because one and done doesn't work on all platforms.
Yep.
Love it.
Any other
so my takeaway is, I don't need to run out and hire a really expensive videographer. I can probably do most of this myself, but for most people, they think that's an expensive endeavor.
Yeah, I think so. Yeah, you're right. If your goal is lead gen, you probably need about, based on each lead gen campaign, you need 3 to 4 different videos. And those are evergreen, and then you keep those. So you create your videos first, you run your ads second. You got to build out the content to run the funnel. Yeah. If you're running just like a branding campaign, that's when I like creating a series. And I like creating an educational series, much like how we have our podcast or the series that I'm running right now, my video series. That's the consistency. And again, that's more of a brand play because you still need to keep people coming in the front door. And that's the jab, jab, jab play that a lot of people are familiar with. So there's two different strategies. But yes, you should be able to shoot every video yourself. Remember, guys, perfection doesn't exist. So quit trying to be perfect. Even when you are, I think you get less results. You will get more engagement if you fart at the beginning of your video than if you don't. That's a 100% fact. And that works. So, I mean, you might not have the guts to do that. I won't. But it would generate a lot more attention if you did than you didn't.
So I remember a video that you created, Mike, for one of your clients. She's an older woman, and you almost made it kind of like a Dr. Ruth video where it was very like, there was a lot of mystery involved, and you didn't know if they were
Valerie
each other in some like secret way, but the reality was like, he was showing her home, and it was like, I watched that video and I was so dang engaged by it. I was like, if I was buying a home, I'd be calling this woman right now.
Well, once you have that one video, like that's how some of these companies that go viral just have one video. But that's what your funnel is. Like you build your funnel and you let that thing work. Then you build a branding campaign and you keep building it. But here's the key, though, is that this whole business has changed. It is changing. You have to put an equal emphasis on content creation as you used to on prospecting, because this is the modern day version of prospecting. As the prospecting, the door knocking, the cold calls, all of that stuff's been dwindling for years, guys. But content creation is that new form. So that's the biggest mindset
we
shift.
had a question. Do I need to know how to run Google ads to run YouTube ads?
Yes.
Yeah, it's the same. You run them in the same platform.
Yeah, it's basically the same question is, do I need to know how to run Facebook ads to run Instagram ads? Yes. Yeah. And they're it's on the same platform, and you would just run, if you're running Google ads, it would be the same thing you'd be running for your YouTube ads.
Awesome. We don't have any other questions at the time. I think you guys, this has been great. Lloyd, Mike, you guys are amazing. Lloyd, somebody did ask in the beginning if you have contact info or how somebody can contact you. Would it be through you, Mike, or you tell us?
Right there, talkwithadude.com. That'll go right to a page where you could schedule a call with us if need be. My website's realestatemarketingdude.com. But if you wanted to schedule a strategy call, it's talkwithadude.com right there. Realestatemarketingdude.com is all of our pricing and or whatnot. But if you're interested in that, just send us a message.
And let me give a personal plug too. I mean, Cuevas and I go back a few years, and obviously I've done a lot since. And I will definitely say that my association and getting to know Mike and following Mike has a lot to do with where I have gone, and everything I have done is as a result of video and social media. It is super, super powerful. And so get to know these guys, the guys like Mike Cuevas, and it can do some major things for your career.
Thanks for that, Jeff.
I mean it.
1,000%.
Thank you, fellas, for being on today. I hope you guys took a lot from this. We're going to wrap this up right at an hour. So thanks again. You know how to reach Mike. Talktoadude.com. Fellas, looking forward to chatting again next time.
Yeah, thank you so much, guys.
All right, man.
See you guys. Bye.